mob boss Sosa and his loyal crew erupt into wild celebration. In a low, chilling voice, he reveals the bitter truth. One of his own betrayed him and put Jimmy Boy behind bars. Someone will pay dearly for that treachery. But tonight is for celebration. Let the party rage on. Hold on to your seats because things are about to get dangerously crazy. Meanwhile, across town, tension simmers in the dim glow of a luxury hotel room. Nick, Alice's husband, knocks at Mike's door. Quick Draw Mike stands waiting calm and terrified. Nick's voice drops as he confronts the man sleeping with his wife. Yet instead of violence, he makes a cold, calculated offer: dinner at a quiet little coffee shop downtown. There, under the hum of fluorescent lights and the clatter of cups, Nick is hiring Quick Draw Mike's lethal skills for tonight. One job, one target, and the clock is already ticking. In a shadowy alleyway, Quick Draw Mike stands face to face with Nick, but Nick steps forward, extending a sleek handgun instead. The two men lock eyes in silent understanding as they climb into the car and speed through the rain-slicked streets toward the target, Nick's own house. Mike reaches into the glove compartment and pulls out a bottle of chloroform along with a thick piece of cloth. Nick leans in. Whoever opens that door, take them down. No matter who the fuck it is. The door swings open. To his shock, it is Nick standing right there. Mike lunges, instantly clamping the chloroform-soaked cloth over his face. But the struggle is messy. Nick fights back wildly, and the chloroform fails to take hold. Now the real violence erupts. Fists fly in a brutal old-fashioned brawl. Grunts and heavy blows echo through the night as the two men crash against furniture and walls. Mike delivers a crushing strike. Nick arrives, and the other Nick is gone. Sirens of danger are closing in. Moments later, Sosa arrives as he reveals the shocking truth. Quick Draw Mike is the rat who betrayed them all. Mike overhears him while hiding. With a dark smile spreading across his face, "I've already hired the best, the Baron. A merciless, cannibalistic assassin who lives for the kill. He's coming for Mike, and when he finds him, there won't be anything left to bury." As Sosa's taillights disappear into the night, Nick stands motionless for a beat. In a voice heavy with exhaustion and urgency, he drops the bombshell. He has already lived through this night twice. He is from the future. In the timeline he came from, Mike dies tonight, and Nick has come back to rewrite fate and keep him alive. Meanwhile, at the pulsing heart of the city's most exclusive club, Jimmy Boy slides into the private booth where Sosa is holding court. The bass throbs around them as Jimmy Boy raises a glass and declares with cold satisfaction that the rat in their ranks is finally going to get the brutal comeuppance he so richly deserves.
I think it's time that we talked about, I want you to have the world. But
I was in a fucking dumpster.
No. Under the dumpster.
Future Nick paces under the dim lights, speaking rapidly as the pieces of the larger puzzle fall into place. 6 months from this very night, he had gone to collect a debt from Simon, a brilliant inventor and close friend of Alice who had borrowed a fortune to complete his greatest creation, a working time machine. They have to find the present Nick, the version of him still moving through the night unaware before he ruins everything and triggers the fatal chain of events. In the chaos of the confrontation, Nick shoots the destroys the machine before he's hurled back through time to this exact evening.
I might have accidentally blown it up. Yeah.
What?
The night Mike is supposed to die. In the process, he accidentally shot Simon dead. Now they have one slim chance to set things right. They must keep Mike alive at all costs. Cut to the bright, sterile aisles of a late-night supermarket. Present Nick tries ordering some imaginary product. Suddenly flashing red and blue lights flood the parking lot. Yet these are no ordinary cops. They are dirty, bought and paid for.
This guy here has a gun. He pulled it on me. He pulled a gun on me.
The lead officer simply stares him down in menacing silence. The boy freezes, words dying in his throat, and the crooked cops do absolutely nothing as they leave Nick to his business. Future Nick and Mike burst into the aisle like predators launching a fierce, no-holds-barred fight against present Nick. Shelves crash down, products scatter across the floor as fists fly and bodies slam into displays. After a brutal struggle, they finally overpower and capture present Nick, dragging him out into the night. Breathing hard, future Nick turns to Mike and orders him to text Alice immediately with their next meeting point, a garage on the edge of the city. In the dimly lit garage, shadows stretch long across cracked concrete as they reveal the bound present Nick to Alice. She stares at her husband's duplicate, but instead of shock or disbelief, she remains eerily calm. She already knew about Simon's time machine. She had been part of its secrets from the beginning. Without wasting another second, both Nicks bundle Alice and Mike to their hidden secret apartment, a safe house tucked away.
You know, Mike and Alice are fucking, right?
Once inside, tension crackles in the air. Alice, testing a dangerous theory, suddenly drives a knife deep into present Nick's leg. He cries out in agony. Future Nick receives the same scar, proof that if one dies, the other dies too. The horrifying link is real. As everyone settles into the dimly lit apartment, wounds are tended and nerves are stretched tight.
You said I cannot possibly be more clear here. I have zero.
I'm not gonna take a risk to find out which one of us is correct.
Future Nick tells the mob boss that he has Mike tied up and ready for delivery straight to the Baron. After ending the call, Future Nick gathers everyone close. He urges them all to clear the air first, laying everything on the table. With raw honesty, he reveals why he came back through time to right the terrible wrongs that destroyed their lives. He is asking for Present Nick's full cooperation to save Mike from certain death. Present Nick still bleeding, and Eric calm listens. As future Nick outlines the risky plan, they will let the Baron take Mike. It is the only way to finally unmask the cannibalistic assassin, because no one has ever seen the Baron's face and lived to tell the tale. In the dimly lit safe house, tension hangs thick in the air. Everyone is in position. Present Nick suddenly breaks the silence, demanding to know exactly when their secret love affair began. Unable to resist, they replay the memories together, stolen glances, hidden touches, and passionate nights. Then, without warning, a sharp knock echoes through the apartment. Alice moves to the door and opens it cautiously. In that split second, Present Nick's face twists with raw impulse. Like a starving man spotting a feast, he explodes into action, betraying the entire plan. The man raises his gun and fires 5 deafening shots, slamming into Mike's body. Present Nick stands frozen, his face draining of all color. No triumph, only deep, crushing regret washing over him as he stares at what he's done. But the man at the door begins to laugh. The supposed Baron lowers his disguise and reveals the shocking truth. It was all an elaborate prank. Future Nick reveals that he hired the actor to impersonate the Baron all along. He knew Present Nick would inevitably sabotage the plan in a moment of weakness. He knew the regret that would follow. And he set this trap to force him to confront the consequences of his actions before it was too late. The tension in the safe house snaps like a live wire as the real Baron finally arrives. The door barely cracks open before a thunderous crack echoes from a mile away. Future Nick, perched on a distant rooftop with his sniper rifle steady, squeezes the trigger and delivers a perfect clean headshot. The cannibalistic assassin's head snaps back violently as he drops lifeless to the floor. Baron's heavily armed men outside open fire, unleashing a storm of bullets that rips through the apartment windows and walls. Glass shatters, wood splinters, and the night lights up with muzzle flashes. In the midst of the onslaught, a grenade sails through the door. It detonates with a deafening roar. Nick grabs his phone and calls Sosa, his voice steady and triumphant. He tells the mob boss that Mike has just killed the Baron. On the other end, Sosa's tone turns ice cold. He declares that by morning he will give the order to every man in the crew. Bring him Mike's head on a platter. Meanwhile, inside the Pulsing Club, Sosa pulls Jimmy Boy into a private room. He hands him a gleaming, hefty, gold-plated shotgun, its weight heavy with promise. With a sinister smile, Sosa finally reveals the identity of the rat they've been hunting. Unbeknownst to them, Nick had already planned this moment with Sam, the dirty cop, on Sosa's own payroll. She secretly plants weapons throughout the club, positioning them for easy, lethal access. Future Nick turns to Mike and Alice, his voice sharp with command. Wait in the car, stay low. This ends tonight. He and Present Nick step out, weapons drawn, and move like shadows toward the club. The moment they push through the doors, the glittering after party turns into an all-out slaughterhouse. Gunfire erupts without mercy. Bullets tear through the crowd as the two Nicks unleash hell. Mike can no longer sit idle in the car. He slips out into the night and sneaks back into the club like a ghost. Screams mix with the deafening roar of automatic weapons.
You've got this. I believe in you.
And taking out dumbass Tony, Jimmy Boy, watching the carnage unfold live on the security cameras. Gun blazing, Mike cuts through his former co-workers, former brothers in arms, dropping bodies left and right as bullets fly and chaos consumes the once glamorous venue.
Adios, motherfucker!
But in the middle of the shooting, he trips and crashes hard, knocking himself unconscious. Outside the building, Sosa suddenly grabs Alice, pressing a cold gun barrel tightly against her head. His voice roars with rage as he demands they all pay for what has happened to Jimmy Boy. Alice raises her own weapon and delivers a clean headshot that drops Sosa instantly to the floor. Jimmy Boy regains consciousness just long enough to fire wildly at Present Nick. Bullets whip through the air as everyone piles into the car and zooms off into the night, racing toward the hospital. Inside the speeding vehicle, amid the blood and adrenaline, they begin singing a hauntingly beautiful song together, voices rising in raw emotion, bonding one final time as the city lights streak past. But the song slowly fades as one of them draws his last breath and dies on the way. Yet even now, the story refuses to end. Mike and Alice, bloodied and unbreakable, know this isn't over. They are already planning their next move, heading straight for another time machine. One last chance to go back, to rewrite the wrongs, and to finally fix everything. Thanks for watching.